So, you've probably been hearing a lot about the Commonwealth lately, right? Especially with the new king. But what is it actually? You hear these phrases thrown around like family of nations or even relic of empire. It's all a bit fuzzy, so we're going to clear that up. Let's figure out what this thing is all about.
Yep, that's the big question for today. King Charles III is the new head, but head of what exactly? To get to the bottom of this, we've got to go on a bit of a journey, all the way from the peak of the British Empire to the tricky global politics we're dealing with right now.
Okay, first things first. To really get what the Commonwealth is today, you have to look at where it came from. And believe me, its story is this incredible transformation. I mean, it went from being this system of total rule to basically a voluntary club.
And you just can't get away from its roots. The whole thing grew directly out of the British Empire. You know, that gigantic global network of colonies and territories that, for better or worse, pretty much drew the map of the modern world.
All right, so how did that happen? Well, it wasn't overnight. You can kind of see the evolution here. It starts back in 1926 when places like Canada and Australia, the so-called dominions, were recognized as basically running their own show. Then, in 31, that gets made official, and they call it the British Commonwealth. But the real turning point, the absolute game changer, was 1949. That's when they made two huge changes. First, they dropped the word British from the name. Big move. And second, they said republics could join. This was massive. It meant a country didn't have to have the British king or queen as their head of state anymore. That's when the modern Commonwealth, the one we have today, was really born.
And that brings us to what it is now. It all boils down to two really important words: voluntary and equal. Think about that. No one is forced to be in it. And, at least on paper, every single member gets an equal say, whether you're the UK or a tiny island nation like Tuvalu.
So that's the backstory. But what does this global family actually look like today? Let's just try to wrap our heads around the numbers for a second. Okay, first up, 56. 56 member countries. They're literally all over the globe on every single continent. Well, except Antarctica, of course.
And get this, living within those 56 countries are 2.5 billion people. That is a staggering number.
Yeah, just let that sink in for a minute. That's about a third of everyone on the planet. And what's really wild is that the majority of them, we're talking 60%, are under the age of 30. So despite its old roots, it's an incredibly young organization. And it's not like these are all the same kinds of countries. It's the total opposite. You've got absolute giants like India, and then you've got tiny island nations like Tuvalu. You've got some of the richest countries in the world and some of the poorest. Republics, monarchies. It's this